Welcome back. The highest court in the land took on a major case yesterday, and the decision could impact your right to say what you want. Along with the Knight Foundation, we've been bringing you stories about how the First Amendment has a direct impact on your daily lives. And this case is a perfect example. Mika Nichols was at the Supreme Court and brings us this One Voice report.
When the Olympic torch passed through Juneau, Alaska in 2002, Joseph Frederick and other students at his school were allowed to miss class to attend the event. In an effort to get on TV, Joseph held up a sign. It said, "Bong hits for Jesus." He was on a public street off school property, but his school principal took his sign and suspended him for 10 days. Joseph sued the school district, and after a long legal battle, his case ended up here at the United States Supreme Court. He says he was using his right to free speech, but the school says his sign violated anti-drug policy. So the question before the court is whether students' free speech can be limited at school-sponsored events, even if that event is off campus. Hundreds of students turned out to show their support for Joseph's case. Some held signs and chanted, while others came on class trips, hoping to sit in on the court's proceedings. They were from all over the country, but their message was mostly the same. Students' freedom of speech must be protected.
It's important to me because this is free speech. This is what makes people who they are, individuals.
It gives us a chance to learn and to speak up and share our opinions with others.
But are there times when students' speech should be limited?
In school situations, I think that there are some things that shouldn't be said as that would endanger people's lives, but other than that, I don't think so.
The attorney for the school says there are times when students' speech should be limited.
Yes, we wanted the court to say absolutely no to pro-drug, pro-alcohol, pro-tobacco messages.
Deborah Morris, the principal involved in the case, said she hopes the court will rule in her favor, not just for her sake, but for all school officials.
And I'm hopeful that the court's decision will give administrators better guidance and clarity on their roles.
But the person at the center of this case wasn't at the Supreme Court. Joseph now lives in China teaching English to high school students. But in a recent statement he said, quote, "I wasn't trying to say anything about religion. I wasn't trying to say anything about drugs. I was just trying to say something." In 1965, Mary Beth Tinker was suspended for wearing an armband to school to protest the Vietnam War. The Supreme Court ruled in her favor, and her case became the basis for most student free speech cases. Tinker says she's spoken to Joseph about his case.
But his real message was that students have a right to free speech, even if the message is upsetting. And according to the First Amendment, we don't have to have a message that's agreeable to everybody.
The Supreme Court will make its final ruling on the case this summer. Mika Nichols, Channel 1.
And think you're ready to take a seat on the Supreme Court bench? Get an insider's view on channel1.com, where you can rule on past court decisions and learn the latest lawyer lingo. After the break, a super jumbo flight makes its first trip to the United States and helps out in today's pop quiz.